So let me tell you about my craft spirit tasting experience. I'm a young salesman, late 80s. You probably weren't even alive. Now, you know, like this guy's using a microphone. Carlisle, Lincoln Mercury.
I remember Carlisle Group.
Yep, spent 10 years there. And I deliver a license plate or touch-up paint or floor mats to a customer on the way home. No cell phone, just, hey, here's where I live. Great, that's on my way home. I'll bring it later. Okay. I get there early afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock. I can picture him. I remember his name. Hungarian immigrant, the thick Hungarian accent. I'm in the kitchen with him and his wife, and he opens up the bifold doors to a pantry in his kitchen, and on the floor was these, I don't know, I imagine like we used to get apple cider for my kids. I don't know how big. Vodka with oranges in the bottom of this one and peppers in the bottom of this one, and, you know, God knows. I think there was like 5 in a row. He says, you want to try it? Now, I'm in my early 20s. I had nowhere to be in particular. Day's over, on the way home. And I'm like, I'll try it. And I was not like a straight vodka in a shot glass drinker. That wasn't my thing. At that age, I guess it wouldn't matter what it was, but to just sit and drink it. All right. So his wife lines me up 5. And I can't really tell you how long that went or what happened next, but I can tell you I woke up at 5 a.m. in his Florida porch on the couch. The next day.
Oh, man.
And he did send a lot of referrals after that. It was great for the company. He did send me a lot of referrals after that.
Well, that was one of those memorable moments. So you were his guy from that point forward, I'm sure.
I was his guy from that, no doubt about it. And speaking now, let's just talk about alcohol. So that was I was imagining when you were talking about sampling and craft and flavors. I was right back at this guy's kitchen table. Sweetheart of a guy, loved him. So another really cool, and one thing, folks, that I love about the car business, especially as a young guy, was meeting all these World War II vets and just wonderful people to get to know. One of my customers was a World War II demolitions guy. And he was probably 75 years old at the time. Call me, 23, 24, 25. Sergeant Rock, cigar lit or not, always sticking out of his mouth, flat top, square jaw, looked like a cartoon character. And he invited me, probably the same thing. I was probably dropping something off. I used to do a lot of that. And then
did you ask for vodka on that drop off?
And then meet neighbors, like, hey, by the way, I sold the Colony Park station wagon next door that you see. And again, I'll have to explain to you, Victor, what a Mercury is later. So he invites him and Nick and his wife, Teresa. This is, again, late 80s. Right? He's in Bel Air and invites me to dinner this time. Invites me to dinner. I said, sure, we'll walk to the pepper mill. Okay. Would you like a drink before dinner? I'm 20-something. I'm at a customer's house. How do you say no? So she brings out TV tray tables on their own stands and sets one in front of me at the couch and sets one in front of him and sets a decanter of water on mine and his and a decanter of whiskey or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the glass and pour the booze and drink it and pour the water and drink it. I don't know if it was 2 glasses or 1 glass. And that was the beginning. Ends up at the restaurant. I recall that when the piano bar fellow would take a break, I was going over to his microphone, probably a little like this one, and tell jokes in the restaurant. And here I am. I'm 56. I can tell the story now. I passed out, my head on the table at the restaurant.
At least you have an off switch.
Well, now that's why I've been sober 26 years. That'll be a different podcast. But stopping is much easier than trying to figure out how many. But he carried me home over his shoulder 4 blocks. 75 years old.
He's a gentleman. Yeah.
So again, in the morning, now his screen door, the bolt lock, had a keyhole on both sides. So now it's again 4 a.m., 5 a.m., I don't know. And I'm wondering, am I about to be some kind of...
I saw a movie about that.
Well, I was wondering, like, is this what they do? And am I going to be able to leave? And am I going to, like, be made into clothes or something?
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, let's feel around all the potted plants around this couch. And I find the key. And I left. So I remember, again, no cell phones. I used to, on my business card and on pens and all kinds of things, I always had my home number. And I remember him ringing me sometime the next morning as I was getting ready to go to work. How about a little hair from the dog that bit you? I'm like, I don't even know, Nick, how you do it. Because he drank more than me and he carried me home. So what can I tell you?
Yeah, it's amazing how people like in that era, those veterans could smoke 6 packs of Camels a day, drink a pint of whiskey every day and live to 106 years old and eat bacon.
Right. It's sorry to get off track when you're thinking about the drink. I'm like, the sampling. Sorry, that's where I went. I don't want to dilute, or I don't want to discount any of the luxury experience that Victor is. Don't think of me.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.